Bonjour, good morning. I think we need to start because we have only 1 hour and we have 4 presentations. So I'm Nikitas Kastis. I'm a European actor many years now, origin Athens, Greece, and working in the fields of learning, evolutions of learning technologies, labor, and now open recognition, which is an evolutionary agenda of the last 20 years. I'm part of the MIRVA consortium with Philippe here and Chiara and Serge, and I'm chairing this session. As I said, we only have 1 hour, so I would like that the presenters respect a 10-minute interval for the presentation. 10, 15, and then we don't have questions. Okay, 12 maximum, I would say. Try to keep that regulation and see how it would come. So I'm inviting the first for the first presentation. Do I have Madame Appiani here? Ciao. So, okay, I first ask Chiara Carlino, who you are doing the presentation, the first presentation. So, Chiara, you have the floor.
Thank you. Thank you, Nikita. Thank you all for being here. Okay, today I would like in my 12 minutes to update you about how we're going on in Italy, about recognition and about digital credentialing. As main point, I will talk about digital credentialing, about Blockcerts that we recently implemented, about evolution of diploma supplement, and if we have time, also how we are trying to do something in the theme of verifying identities relating to badges. So, sorry. As you probably already know, I work for Cineca, which is the an Italian consortium of universities, and we provide IT solutions to universities. So this is the context. In this context, we created Bester, I'm sure you know, in 2015, and it was a web platform leveraging open badges to highlight competencies. 4 years passed and Bester changed. We are now having a digital credentialing platform for lifelong and life-wide learning focused on universities. Why this evolution? We found that in these 4 years, working with open badges, a lot of reflections came around from us, from the universities, from recipients, from readers of open badges. And I would say that open badges answered to many questions, but also highlighted many questions, many needs that were not particularly focused before we started working with this technology. So while working with open badges, we as a community realized that we needed something to highlight the competencies, achievements, engagement happening around the formal education system, not inside the proper curricular study path, but everything that happens around it, including, for example, mobility experience. There is much to be highlighted that was not sufficiently highlighted just in the title. We also realized that instant verification is something we like very much and should be more spreadly available about credentialing. We understood that visual communication can be key in many use cases, and open badges are a solution to this because they provide, as you know, an image that you can put anywhere and it can be verified. It is easily shareable. So we tackled a bit the communication issue that was previously with just resume and or paper diplomas, not so easy. Also, we reflected a lot about how to best interact with employers. So how can we make it easier for employers who are, as we were saying also before in the workshop, sometimes not super trained headhunters, but just someone who's trying to do his best inside a small, medium enterprise. So he's maybe not prepared to evaluate the many different study paths that exist nowadays in higher education in Europe and beyond. So open badges were an answer to all of this. They provided us a way to unbundle the degree, make it explicit in its many parts and highlight its many components. But with open badges, we also realized that we need something more. We need something different besides this. We need verification, and we need a different kind of verification for diplomas, of digital verification for diplomas. For this specific need, open badges are not the answer, because they're not sufficiently tamper-proof for diplomas who have, in Italy at least, a legal value. You really need to be sure of what you are verifying. So this is why we expanded better and implemented Blockcerts to provide a way to notarize and make verifiable in the long term and with reasonable certainty the diplomas and other certification that might need this. In this path, also any other relevant digital credential can be or could be supported by Bester, so we are already working also on a DCI, for example. We understand that the digital credentialing scenario, current panorama, is not static at all. Evolution has not stopped yet. So we might reasonably expect many different standards, or at least some different standards to arise, and we need to be able to experiment with that, so that's why we are expanding the platform. And this is, before with badges we unbundle the degree. With Blockcerts we seal it, we make it sure, and we make it verifiable, so to ease the internal processes of universities that need to answer so many requests for verification of degrees. We started this year. The first Blockcerts have been issued in June. We have currently over 100 Italian graduates who are holding a Blockcert beside a badge and beside, of course, the traditional diploma. One thing that I would like to specify is that Blockcerts and open badges are autonomous, exist autonomously on the platform, but also everywhere else. At the moment in which the student becomes a graduate in the student information system, in this very moment, all his credentials are issued, meaning that the process to print the paper certificates that will be handed to him at the ceremony starts, the diploma supplement is generated and will be then signed, the open badge is sent, and the Blockcert is sent. All of this exists autonomously. On the Bester platform, a student holding a degree badge will see the possibility to download the open badge, for example, to share it because it's still more shareable than the Blockcert, or the Blockcert to provide proof of his degree. This credential can also, of course, be connected one to the other to empower themselves and to make it easier for the students and for the readers to leverage the best parts of each credential type. We see credentials as just a tool to communicate the same concept, the fact that the student has graduated and has a certain degree and has studied some things. This is what is important. The tool can vary. Speaking of how these credentials can be interrelated, a very simple first step is that we have the diploma supplement inside the open badge. So for those universities who produce the PDF diploma supplement, which is also digitally signed, they can decide to have it inside the degree badge. And the student can also decide to show it or not, for privacy, of course. This is a very simple way to to disseminate the use of diploma supplement. It's really very easy, nothing particularly revolutionary, but we think it's useful to provide a way to dive into the diploma supplement if one is interested without the need to send out long paper pages. On the other way around, badges are also in the diploma supplement. This was specified in some recent guidelines about the diploma supplement, that this kind of additional recognitions should go in this paragraph 6.1, 6.2 of the diploma supplement, and here they go. Badges issued by the university or endorsed by the university that can provide extra credits to the students, or not, depending on what the university chooses for each specific case, each specific student. What we actually would like to do is to fully digitize the diploma supplement, not just the PDF, but maybe evolve the Blockcerts specification to include the data that are now in the diploma supplement. We made this proposal to a diploma supplement working group, and we think that this would very much help in bringing these standards forward, but it's just an idea at the moment. I have some minutes. Where is Nikita's? Yes. Okay, one another little thing that we tried, I'd like to have your opinion about it, is to provide some information about how an identity of a user, of a badge owner, is verified. Since we have IDEM connection, so students can log in with their own university credentials, we thought we'd leverage this connection, and also the fact that some badges come from certified platforms, the student information systems, to express the fact that that student has been physically identified at some point by his or her university. I mean that if I receive a degree badge from a certified platform, meaning from the student information system of my university, on my email address, which is the university email address, this means that the university at some point has verified that I am Chiara and that I have that email address and that I deserve that degree badge. So we are showing that on the award page beside the user, so to help the badge reader have an information point, one more information point to judge trustability of the award they are reading. In the same way also, it goes the other way around. So if I log in to Bester with my university credentials, this means that my university has provided me this credential and identified me as such. Of course, we do not rely only on the fact that the student logs in or the learner logs in, because he could very well log in with general office account, for example, but we also require from the identification platform name, surname, email, and when possible, the social ID, which is never ever displayed, but is used for verification. Last point, very quick, one thing we recently added is the possibility of getting one badge through different paths. So you can have the creativity badge. This was done with the University of Siena. You can have, for example, a creativity badge, and you can get it if you follow one of the following courses. So you have different learning and assessment paths that can lead to the same badge. On the other hand, as I showed yesterday, and I think also last year, we also have, of course, many badges that can lead to a final badge. So we have two levels of modularity built in the platform. Oh, sorry, I'm going backwards. It's over. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you, Chiara. Yeah. Well, I would take one or two questions if there are short answers needed. Yes.
You said you had 100? Yeah. I'm sorry, thank you. Did you say you had 100 issued in the last year?
100 Blockcerts actually existing, meaning that Laura, the next speaker, will talk more about it. We send email to get the Blockcerts, but only when the student actually answers and creates the Blockcerts exist. So these are the 100, the over 100, the existing ones.
Do you know roughly of those 100 how many include traditional degrees and how many include non-traditional?
All of them are traditional degrees.
Okay, thank you.
As a prerequisite, there is a traditional degree. That's a point.
Sorry?
As a prerequisite, there is a traditional degree in order to reach the...
Not necessarily as a prerequisite. It's just that currently we activated Blockcerts for some university degrees, but we are going to do it for other things too.
So, question about the extending the Blockcert schema to include the diploma supplement fields. Would that also have to be done separately for, in the US, the, what do they call it, the comprehensive learning record, that standard they're developing there? Would that be separate schema additions?
Yeah, it needs to be defined. It's, yeah, you're right.
Yes, it's under discussion, yes. So, thanks, Chiara. I would like to invite Laura Appiani to continue, I think, in the same line of thinking, so we will come back to these questions are open already.
So, hello, I'm Laura Appiani from the University of Milano-Bicocca. I speak about what we have done and we are doing in digital certification of qualification with a focus on Blockcerts. As some of you already know, we started issuing open badges towards the end of 2015, badging transversal skills. To enhance transversal skills, we implemented two projects, Between and Bicocca. To recognize transversal skills developed, we started issuing open badges. Between is a project composed of a series of events and study paths focusing on one or more areas of contemporary culture, available also to Bicocca's employees and to anyone. iBicocca is the project dedicated to developing students' entrepreneurship. We also issue open badges for a special set of transversal skills, for example, languages or digital and computer culture, badges for faculty development, for our teaching staff, and other transversal and more specific skills. We highlight information about the study periods abroad in the International Student Badge. It is aimed at certifying that the student spent a study period abroad. In 2016, UNIMIB signed board, and it was the first university in the world to sign it. Board declaration recommends to establish a trustworthy system of human and machine verifiable learning credentials and to adopt open standards. It did not focus only on extracurricular skills, nor did it focus only on informal achievements, but also to the formal ones. So, in 2017, we started to produce and issue open badges for degrees to give open recognition of formal achievements. And we were the first university in the world, again, to do that. Here you can see some number about the badges we published and issued in the sets I mentioned before. And almost 4 years after this his first open badge, Bicocca has produced 210 open badges and issued 41,455 open badges. EA Paris Communiqué identifies a strategy for the implementation of the Bologna objectives. One of the first points is to enable the automatic recognition in all countries of formal qualifications. To achieve this goal, it is necessary to go through the transparent, easily transmissible and secure digital certification of qualification. This is why the Blockcerts are the solution, because the issued titles through Blockcerts cannot be forged or tamped and remain accessible over time. The issuing of degree qualification in the Blockcert format began on 28th June. To date, Bicocca has issued 1,327 Blockcerts to certify as many qualifications. Of these, about 130, it is the number that Chiara said before, so more than 100, have been activated by the students, so they does exist. To guarantee the technical functionality of the Blockcert released by Unimib, there is BESTR, the Cineca's platform that today manages, in addition to the open badges, also the Blockcert. The issuing is automated at the end of a student's university career, thanks to the integration with S3, the academic career management system. With the entry of Blockcerts in Bicocca, university degrees are certified with 4 different methods, each suitable for meeting different needs. The traditional parchment diploma is still awarded, to which is added the digitally signed diploma supplement. It is designed as an aid to the recognition of academic qualification in foreign countries. And it describes in detail the path taken by the student, and it contains a lot of information on the national higher education system of the country, the level of the qualification, the content of the course, the result obtained, and so on. The open badge has the advantage of being easily shared, contains a brief but comprehensive description of the degree course attended and of the skills acquired, and can be endorsed by employers that experience the quality of the degree, increasing the value of the badge. Finally, the Blockcert. The Blockcert briefly describes the qualification and guarantees the validity of the title. These forms of certification are also integrated because the students have it claim the open badge, as Chiara said before, can with a simple click view the diploma supplement and activate the Blockcert. They may also, by sharing their open badge and Blockcert, decide whether to share the diploma supplement as well. Here there is a degree badge. You can see the description. Here you can see where you can see the Blockcert, and the student can claim the Blockcert simply clicking there. There are the skills. This is the hour page of the open badge, the criteria, some evidences, and here there is where, with a click, the student can view the diploma supplement. This is the Blockcert, and here, with the functionality developed by Cineca, the students can come back to the open badge. So click there and can come back. So digital technology has had a profound effect on the way we learn. The digital revolution and the rapid progress of science and technology have changed the training needs, making it imperative to continuously update and rethink learning paths. Globalization also means that it must be guaranteed for a learner the acquisition of different skills at different institutions, create a personalized and stackable pathway. where the different modules are certified by different realities. To make learning pathways more flexible, based on networks of institutions and not on individual universities, and focus on the accumulation of micro-credentials, it is possible to think of building a system to verify skills through accredited certification tests released from the path. It would be necessary to accredit detailed syllabuses of skills to be required in a given field and panels of experts or set of questions and ways to conduct examination to assess these skills, as well as institutions authorized to provide these tests. If a learner passes one of these accredited certifying tests, the credits on micro-credential associated with the test could enter his or her track of records, regardless of how he or she has achieved the learnings. Learning paths so will no longer be certified by a somewhat rigid final certification, but by many micro-credentials that can be accumulated. Blockcerts certification could encourage developments such as decentralizing the loading of training credits and micro-credentials into students' track of records so that certificates are stored in the cloud and are secure and verifiable. Bicocca University is already moving in this direction and will soon release Blockcerts for some of the skills most requested by employers. For example, we will provide soon Blockcerts for some computer skills, for programming languages such as R and Python. Decentralizing the verification of the validity of a title makes it easier for students and graduates to move between universities and the world of work, encouraging the exchange of skills and becomes even a tool for the protection of the human rights in the cases of forced mobility linked to political instability and migration. In Bicocca, there have been, for example, cases of migrants or refugees who declared qualification awarded by high schools or universities that no longer exist or are unreachable. In some of those cases, neither embassies nor specialized bodies have been able to help. And even more difficult is the recognition of track of records of uncompleted study programs. But if many universities and institutions began to provide, recognize, accept, and request Blockcerts, in a few years the provision of sharing of digital university certification will increase exponentially, together with the benefits that will follow. Bicocca University was invited to participate as Italian representative in the working group led by MIT, which includes 9 other universities in 5 countries. The group has the goal to implement an open standard for digital, portable, and verifiable academic qualification, more sustainable and versatile than Blockcerts. And the technical white paper, which illustrates the work set out by the group, will be published soon. Here you can see the website and the university who participate to the group and the mission of the group. So, thank you.
Grazie
So
Laura.
much.
Thank you.
For
You're
your
making
attention.
my work easier. You're keeping the time slots. one or two questions, short, and then if we have time, last 10 minutes if possible, we will address all the speakers. No question. Oh, done.
So, quick question about, you're talking about micro-certifications. Would that be standardized testing for those micro-certifications or flexible assessment?
Yeah, the idea is that if micro-credentials or if credits are on the cloud, so maybe with Blockcerts or with other technologies similar to Blockcerts, the pathway can be stickable, so there is not a rigid final certification such as the degree, or not only that, but the students can build his pathway with micro-credentials. And this is secure because it is on Blockcerts or digital, or this on Blockcerts or on technologies similar to that, better than that, and this is the idea.
Okay. Short. Last, short. And Laura's answer.
Yes, hello. Let's say, it's a small comment. So the thing with blockchain is, because I'm hosting a national working group on blockchain and education. And the question that many people have in their head when we speak about blockchain is about sustainability and the infrastructure you are using. And I think this is Ethereum, the blockchain infrastructure. Yeah, I think so. We spoke with Chiara, yes. And it was just to say that tomorrow there will be a presentation of what we are doing in Lille on blockchain and what kind of infrastructure we would be privileging in our own testing.
Thank you. So Caroline and Éric already on the floor.
That's
Thank
us.
you. Yes, Rush. Hey.
Okay, so as the title says, we wanted to address the issue of using Passport to build an ecosystem. Okay, yes, this should work. So one of the recurrent questions that you've probably met and that we all meet when we talk about open badges is the question of their values and how much they're worth. The idea is that if you look at the passport, the gallery, you see that badges can recognize just about anything from very small things, very small set of competencies, and also very big, maybe a degree, diploma is a big badge. So that's something we wanted to address. If a badge is too small, how can you compare it with other badges? And if it's too big, how can you find the info that you're actually looking for? So the different issues that we wanted to address are outlined here. You can just have a look, and that's what we're going to talk about in any case. Okay, so I wanted just to talk about the value, the idea of value and the concept of value. Basically, you see here 3 examples of badges. I use one from Bester, which is a badge on the left recognizing the content of a course, basically, on gender and language. You can also see that some badges recognize being part of a choir in a school on the right, and also planting trees in the city of Angers. So, of course, the question of how much each of those badges are worth is a true question. When we had discussions last year at ePIC, especially in Nate Otto's session, there were 2 points. The first one was that the value comes from the recognition that the ecosystem or the community gives to the badge. And the second one was that actually you don't need a badge in your own community where you're recognized, but that's an object for when you go outside. In the same community of practice, you don't necessarily need to be recognized because you work together, but it has to be visible and understandable from the outside. So, based on that, in Nouvelle-Aquitaine. Nouvelle-Aquitaine is this huge region in France which is the size of Austria, and it basically has other cities than Bordeaux, but of course Bordeaux is the most famous one. I don't know why. We launched the BOAT initiative, BOAT being badge ouvert à tous, open badges for all. Those are the logos of the different structures. Apart from le rectorat, I think everybody's here. You'll hear them. We basically wanted to answer 3 questions or to deal with 3 items. And of course our model is HPAS. We wanted to have a common language in our network. We wanted to make sure that what we recognize is understandable by the whole network. The second point was we thought that to support the value of badges, we needed to have common quality standards. And also this is coming from HPAS. Whatever you recognize, even if it's participation. And the third point, which is central, was that we needed a place, a virtual place, which is the passport that Éric is going to talk about, to develop an ecosystem, to make visible the ecosystem, and also to accompany the beneficiaries of badges so that they could actually use them. We wanted to support the usage of badges and not just issuing badges. I think this is your turn, Éric.
Thank you very much, Caroline. Yes, as Caroline said, the approach of the BOAT network is to have badges used in the context of, I would say, ecosystem and territoire apprenant, we call in France. So basically, the Open Badge Passport is very important. It's not only a backpack. It's not a place where you just can put badges in a repository, but it's a place where badges can get their sense, their meanings, and their value at the community level. So the idea of the Open Badge Passport, it's basically giving the possibility to users, to badge earners, to use their badge as connectors. We have been speaking very much about badges as certificates, basically. I think that the strong thing in badges that they are connectors. It's always a question of communication. And when you have communication, it's always in a community, it's always between people. So the passport, what is the Open Badge Passport that we provide now? There is 50,000 users, 200,000 badges. It has been running as a generic platform for now, I think, for 5 years. Well, it's a social platform. I would not say that it's a backpack. Okay, you can get badges there, but it's not the point. The point that you can get your badges in the community, you can share your badges with your peer, with your colleague. You can have your badges endorsed by the community. You can network with your badges. I've sometimes been speaking about the passport is a LinkedIn based on badges. So you can connect, I can connect with Caroline by following her because she has get some badge, or I can follow her badge because I am interested in her competencies and what she has been doing. And it's supporting community of practice. So the whole idea of the badge, that badge are not flyers that you just through like that, but badges are basically anchor points that you can use for, let's say, boost the communication between community of practices. And of course, we have been in the passport bringing what we call the geolocalization, so that you have a map, very important in territoire apprenant, let's say, level, so that you can see the people at the region level, where they are and where are the badges. So we connect the badges to the region and to the ecosystem. Well, it's also a PLE, personal learning environment, because it's my personal place. I get my badges in the passport. I can enrich my badges by bringing more evidences, additional evidences on my badges. I can create micro portfolios with my badges. I can share my portfolios and I can earn more badges. So it's not, as I say, a backpack, a place where you are passive, you just receive things. It's a place where you can learn and be engaged in new pathways. Why why the dedicated passport? So I was speaking about the generic passport, which is now open source, open to everyone, free passport. Now you can see that we have been already installing dedicated passport installation for eCampus Ontario in Canada, HPAS, Humanitarian Leadership Academy, Humanitarian Network Passport, and we have the Dutch badgeable passport, with a new passport for a community of schools in Holland. Well, here the idea is to basically define a clear community. So 50,000 users around the world from 100 different countries is not really a community of practice. And the idea is now to develop for the Nouvelle-Aquitaine region and for HPAS and so on, a place where people can get more value on their badges, because the value of the badges is coming from in a clear, well-defined context. So, as I say, badges, in my opinion, when you use badges as a kind of absolute truth of something in all the universe, it doesn't make sense. It makes sense because you can connect with people, you can share things with people. So the context of specific community of practice, it's, in my opinion, the starting point of the whole value of badging, and not only the quality of badges, and not only the fact that you are setting plans from your organization point of view. So making things smaller to have bigger meanings, it's important. So, for example, in HPAS, we have a passport for humanitarian people, basically, which are working together. And then what is very important is this dedicated installation of the passport, that the passport is not anymore our service, the service of Open Badge Factory, but it's a service of Caroline, it's a service of the region of Poitiers. So they can set rules between the users and their structure, their organization. So it will be in France, and it will be basically, they will have access or possibility to agree with the users to use data, to understand what is happening in the passport. So it gives the possibility to not only to recognize, but also to manage skills and competencies. And the third point is that then they will have the possibility to integrate with local, let's say, providers, and to build services around the passport. So it's a way to open the passport to the community and to bring new actors in the passport. So it's what we are doing. We've been doing that with HPAS. We are doing now that with the region of Poitiers, Nouvelle-Atlantique. Nouvelle-Aquitaine, pardon. We get all that. Okay, please.
Okay, I think it's maybe you can say what is next for the passport after that. So basically, the next steps for us will be, of course, to start working on the technicalities and buying the server and everything next Monday. What we've realized is that to use a passport, if you really want to use it as a personal learning environment and social platform, you still have to train people. So we're building online 1-hour training pathways so that people know how to use the social platform. Then we're also building one training on the philosophy of recognition and ethics. And finally, but we didn't start by that, we're going to work on how to create badges to support strategies, not just create badges, but what the added value of badges. We're also launching working groups in 2 weeks on those quality standards and speaking a common language, defining the concept notions and what we want to achieve. As a it's not exactly trans-sectorial because it's still learning and training, but we're having more and more schools coming to us to share badges, not to issue their own badges, but to share them. We're having 2 more higher education institutions, the local science center also coming to the network, and schools that are dedicated to how can I say that, young adults that have not completed their formal education. So we're seeing how, you know, by not focusing on one institution, we're actually attracting people through the passport to recognize different pathways. I think that's all for both. Did you want to say anything about talent management?
Short.
1 minute?
Short.
Yeah. Well, let's say that when you have the possibility to agree with platforms, with a service provider, on the fact that you can use data, which is in the system, you can start to understand what is happening there. You can basically find people. You can basically define strategies on talent management. So it's basically going from the generic passport, which is more a place which is totally, let's say, center around the individual. You are going here in a place where it's more, in one way, rules are managed by a community and by organizations, but you can have an agreement between individuals and organizations.
Yes, thank you very much. I will not take questions. I would like to have Saija on the floor and continue. And then perhaps even if we have 3 minutes for questions. Thanks a lot. Sorry for pushing.
Presentation? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay, great. Actually, I can't see everything. Okay. Hi, good day, everyone. My name is Saija Heinonen, and I'm a fortune teller. I said yesterday that I will probably have 5 minutes, and that's pretty close what I have. So I have to run through some slides here pretty quickly, but if you have some questions about them, so come and talk to me during the lunch break, for example. I'm here until tomorrow, so we will have time to talk, aussi en français. So I'm here to tell about the creation of a nationwide open batch ecosystem for the use of games industry in Finland. And I come from Metropolia University of Applied Sciences in Helsinki. And I'm the project manager of this Chips for Game Skills project. It has been running for 2 years now, and we still have 8 months to go. This is a quick overview that who are our partners. So there are many schools involved, and also ICDA Finland. So the last line, ICDA, is the International Game Developers Association. And Neo Games, that is a like rooftop organization of game developers in Finland. And also many game companies are involved one way or the other. Here are the main goals and actions of the project. So on the left you can see that what we wanted to achieve with this project, and on the right the actions that we thought that we need to take to get there. So creating the open batches is not the only one of the actions, but it's one of the main ones. And I have 4 questions that I'm going to answer quite quickly. So these questions, 2 of them answer for the question that why are we doing this, and 2 answer for the question that how are we doing this. So what was the need for this in the beginning? Why we started the whole process? This was the main reason. There is a gap between the studies and the working life. So on one hand, the graduated students have difficulties in finding a job in the games industry, but on the other hand, there is a shortage of workers. So why don't they match? And we thought that one solution could be to make the skills and the competencies of these students more visible. And maybe that would help. But we wanted to ask that from the industry, that what are the needs, what are their needs for the skills? So the result is an open batch system that is industry-based, and it's for everyone. The challenges on the way, well, we have had them, especially at the start. We had to strip down the whole industry without using any courses. We didn't want to use the school courses, and we couldn't use them. Why? I give you 5 seconds to think about it. Well, the most important reason is that if we use the school courses, they are different in different schools. So we would have had several different batches, and we didn't want to have that. If I think, for example, a human resources person who receives the CVs and the badges from the job seekers, and if they receive the badges that are almost the same, but not exactly, with minor differences, so I think that they are not willing to put much weight on them for a very long time. We wanted to have similar badges for everyone. And also, as we wanted a system that is available for everyone, so also not for the students, but also for other people, for example, someone who has been drawing or coding since the age of 5 and is not at school yet, so we want that they are also, they can also apply for these badges, so they don't participate in these courses that we have in our schools. So the solution that we had was a classification by professions. So if it's not based on courses, it has to be based on something anyway. So the profession system was one. And this is what we started with. So it's a pretty nice picture. So we have a draft of the artist family here, programmer, producer, and so on. So this was the very first version. And this is what we have now. Well, you can see the text there, but there is a artist family on the left. We started to use a mind map tool to better visualize this whole map. Then there is also the programmer, audio artist, designer, and so on. And this opens it up a bit better. So there are 3 degrees. The red one and the green one, they are the meta batch degrees or levels. And the gray balls, so they are the skills and the competencies that we make the batches, and they are the batches that people can claim for, or claim for. So a certain number of obligatory batches are needed for that green level, level 2. For example, a metagame designer has to have, for example, 4 or 5 obligatory batches and then reach this meta batch. There are also 3 different difficulty degrees. So we have gold, silver, and bronze. So bronze is the basic skills and competence. We also call it the school level. So we think that the graduated students should have at least these skills. So we first focus on these bronze badges, silver badges also, but the gold ones, it's probably the most difficult, and maybe we run out of time in this project. We have time only until next summer, so these are not finished yet. So we work on these two degrees first. They are the most important ones. And we had difficulties in seeing the differences between these 3, so the competence goals and the criteria and the competence demonstrations. We checked some batches in the Open Batch Passport, and some of them, of the texts, were very similar. So we found out a solution that we will have a point of view of the persons who will see the batches. And this one-liner up there, for example, so it's for the person, if you send them for a job interview, for example, so there you can easily and quickly see the core of this batch without having to read all of it. Competence goals are for the applicant, and criteria is for the reviewer, so where you have to focus on when checking the material and the evidence, and the evidence is like the practical stuff, that's what you have to send and where. The challenges we are facing at the moment and in the near future, well, this criteria and the degrees, the differences between them, and what to take in and what to leave out. I think that everybody knows this problem. And also the titles and the necessary skills that change. So who does the updates? This is always the problem in the projects that are financed from the outside, that when the project ends, so who will take in charge of it afterwards? I have a meeting next week actually with one association, and I hope that they will take the whole package. But well, I'm just crossing my fingers for that, because that would be the good place. Because I think that the issuers of the silver and the gold badges, they have to be professionals. It's such a high level already, but the bronze badges, they can be issued by teachers. So that stays in the school network, hopefully. And the prices, we thought about them also. I think that, for example, for the professionals, if they want to claim the badges, they can pay also, they can afford to pay something for it, for the evaluation process, not for the badge in itself. But for the students, it can be free of charge. The cooperation with the professionals, so how did it go? Well, this picture gives another idea, but we tried to have workshops with the professionals in the beginning so that they would tell that what do we put in this whole map. But luckily, when I think about it now, it didn't work out. So we didn't have anything to show them, so of course it's easy to say that no, we don't need them when you know nothing about it. They didn't know open badges, so they said that no, we never had them, so we don't need them now. We started the process with our teachers of that certain field. For example, a 3D teacher told that what skills the artist needs. And we outlined the first draft. And with that, we went to the professionals and to the industry, having face-to-face meetings that can you sign this version, or would you like to add something in here? And there has been many changes on the way since the start. But 3 weeks ago, for example, I had a first workshop with 3 game designers. So this was actually my first one. I'm in charge of 2 of these batch families. And the attitudes have changed a lot. When in the beginning they said that no, we don't need this, now they say when they see the batches and they see the idea that yes, we definitely need this. So talking about the benefits, this is the second last. Standard is the term that the industry uses a lot when talking about these batches. So because the industry is relatively new, so everyone has started to do a little bit of whatsoever, using the titles and terms in their own way. So we are creating some sort of a standard here in the same time. And I like to call learning paths these, what we had in Kumu. So the gray balls and the green ones and the red ones, so it creates a path. If you want to be a game designer, you can see that what skills do you need to work in that field. And also you can see if you, for example, have some work experience, the skills that you already have and what you are still missing. And this also creates opportunities for schools to create new courses. And then you can receive badge from that course. So it's not a batch that is based on the course, but the other way around. The ICTA Finland president said that, oh, then we could also have job announcements where you can search for a person with these certain skills, a metagame designer, for example, with silver degree skills. And the companies, well, this also came from the professionals, that they can use badges to assess the staff's proficiency. So it would make it visible for the clients and for the partners. We didn't think about it, but luckily they said it themselves. So what did we learn on this journey? Well, I could make a long list of things. I didn't know anything about badges when we started this 2 years ago. But I think that this is the most important thing. If you don't have the credibility of the badge, you have basically nothing. And there are 2 spots where you can lose it. If you write badly the criteria, or who is the issuer of the badge. If the community doesn't trust the issuer, it doesn't trust the badge. And again, there is no use of that. So this is where I want to finish.
Thank you very much.
My time
Thank you very much. Yes. Although we take the time from Dawn, but one maximum 2 questions are there. Yes.
Thanks. I was just really interested in that slide where you had the competence at the top and then you had the criteria and the evidence that they had to produce. And I was just wondering, is the evidence assessed by one central body that then issues the badges, or can lots of different organisations issue the badges based on that evidence?
Was it this one?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we have to share the responsibilities. So, for example, for the bronze badges, there has to be different teachers from different schools. But there also has to be some criteria that who can issue them for the credibility. But these are they are the questions we don't have an answer yet. But we are just struggling with them at the moment, and we hope to solve that during this winter.
Great, thanks. That was really interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for your participation, attention. We move to the next session. Yeah.